Good morning and welcome to Government House here in Canberra on this beautiful day. My name is Gerard Martin and I'm the Secretary to the Council for the Order of Australia and the Secretary to the Australian Bravery Decoration Council. I wish to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on today and recognise any other people and families with connection to the lands of the ACT and the region. I acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the life of this city and this region. And I would also like to acknowledge and welcome any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our official guests this morning. Commodore Philip Stanford, representing Chief of Navy. Major General Chris Smith, representing Chief of Army. Air Vice Marshal Harvey Reynolds, representing Chief of Air Force. Dr. Rachel Bacon, Deputy Commissioner of the Australian Public Service Commission. Ms. Leanne Close, Commissioner of ACT Corrective Services. And Mr. Andrew Phelan, Chair of the ACT Order of Australia Association. The Australian Honours System is an important mechanism to recognise ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today is a special day not only for the recipients, but also for their families, their friends, and their communities. It is a day when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. We here at Government House are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. I hope we can help make today an occasion that you will recall with pride for years to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand if you're able as the Governor-General enters the room. Please remain standing then for the Australian National Anthem. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right. And once reading a biography of their service and they have been invested, they will leave by the centre aisle to take their seats at the back of the room. At this point, you might like to show each of them a short round of applause in recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, please now stand for the arrival of Her Excellency the Governor-General and the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats.
Thank you, Gerard, and good morning, everybody. It has struck us here at Government House this week that we have had the most perfect weather to invest you in the style we most want to, with a great deal of joy. The weather is perfect. It's a glorious, glorious autumn day here, and that's only fitting given the work we'll do this morning in celebrating our great Australians. As Gerard has done, I would also like to acknowledge that we gather today on the lands of the Ngunnawal people, and I want to pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are here with us today. I also join Gerard in acknowledging our distinguished guests. And I also want to thank the RMC band. Today it's the brass section of the band you're hearing for their national anthem and the music that we'll enjoy later at the morning tea. I also want to acknowledge that Sergeant Jennifer Lakatos led us in the singing, and as a poor singer myself, it's always good to hear someone rousing us in that anthem. I also want to thank the team here at Government House. Those of you that have arrived know the team already because they've got you here, I think, safely and with a great deal of care. It is a really important day for us at Government House, and we want every part of this to feel very special, and that happens in very large part due to the team here at Government House who want you to know that this matters to all of us. So welcome. This is a place of peace and welcome where absolutely everybody belongs. And as your first Canberra-born Governor-General, it is a very special privilege for me. in this 50th anniversary year of the honours system to bestow these awards on so many Canberrans and people from the region and those who've given so much to this important capital city. Investitures always inspire me and so many others. We have the glimpses of service, integrity, creativity, care and achievement that flourish across our nation, and we can't help but be moved by your contributions and your selflessness. Many of you would know that I've just returned with my team from an official visit to Turkey, Egypt and the United Arab Emirates, with an unexpected but very important attendance at the sacred, monumental and very simple funeral of Pope Francis in Rome. Of course, the centrepiece of our official trip was to be at Gallipoli for Anzac Day, particularly for the morning ceremony, the dawn service on Anzac Day, to commemorate the 110th anniversary of the first landings there in 1915. Standing in the places where Australians fell so long ago, and then meeting Australians of today, the pilgrims, diplomats, the defence personnel who represent our extraordinary, diverse and modern nation, brought home very closely to me that Australians, past and present, near and far, carry with them a deep commitment to care and share the qualities of courage, resolution and respect, imagination and deep kindness. It also brought to mind for me another commemoration where I was very, very pleased to attend. It was on Christmas Day, just last year, into 2024. I was joined by the Prime Minister and the Chief of the Defence Force in Darwin for the 50th anniversary and commemoration of Cyclone Tracy. Now, the Chief of Defence was there both to represent the work that was done by our Defence Force in that incredible evacuation, but he was also one of the young boys, young children who evacuated Darwin in the midst of that crisis. So it was deeply personal for him, and I learned much more through him about what it felt like to leave Darwin and to go off into the world as a young man, having experienced that tragedy. Together, we stood there and remembered the remarkable courage and recovery, the care that Darwin's people showed for each other and for their city. Over 1,200 people attended that dawn service. And it's not surprising that the efforts of those that cared so much in 1975 were reflected in the very first Australian Honours list, 50 years ago. They were women like Corporal Rose Finn and RAF Nurse Brenda Walton, who were made members of the Order that year because of their tireless care in the hours and days that followed the disaster of that cyclone. And Major General Alan Stretton, head of the then brand new National Disasters Organisation, his excellence in overseeing the evacuation of Darwin led to him being not only made an officer of the Order, but he was Australian of the Year for 1975 for his efforts. In the same year, if we look at the lists of our honorees, we find names like Patrick White, Manning Clark, Joan Sutherland, and Nugget Coombs, and so many more Australians who in that first year were honoured. Those that I've named were all made companions of the Order that year. So from its very beginning, the Order of Australia has recognised the very best and the bravest and those that give so much to our country. And ever since, our honours system has been a record of how Australians respond to both the perils and the promise of life in our country. And today, 50 years later, we invest our 2025 honorees. Today, we celebrate the fact that you belong in the company of Australians whose lives have had a lasting impact on our country, where you work, and around the world. And when I became Governor-General, I undertook during my term to focus unstintingly on the uplifting power of care, kindness, and respect. Care for each other, care for those that do the caring of others, care for our extraordinary continent and its environmental beauty and the riches it's given us, care for civics and institutions, of which the Australian honours system is but one, and care for the way in which we discuss and debate the very big and tough issues of our time without judgment, anger or violence, but with respect. Care, I think, also means that as Australians we should reflect occasionally on the braided strength that we find in the unique history of our nation. 65,000 years of continuous Indigenous history and culture shared with us, all of us who have come subsequently, shared with us generously. And then of the stability, equality and prosperity assured by the strength of our democracy and institutions of government, of which I represent as your Governor-General. And now the modern chapter of belonging, progress and success, underpinned by the most remarkable multiculturalism. Over half a century of immigration and refugee arrivals, over 7.5 million migrants and almost 1 million refugees. When I was sworn in, I made a deep commitment to amplify the stories of those who embed care and kindness in the way they encounter the world around them. And that's what we've seen this week, in a week of investitures, and what I see and feel now in this room. And we're going to see across the next few moments where we invest our Australians who have achieved these great honours. It's a privilege to learn your stories, and I will take them with me wherever I go, across the country and around the world. I want to thank our honorees today for everything you've done and what you continue to do every day. As we celebrate half a century of Australian honours, it's today that you embody the very legacy that we cherish. I want to also thank your families, your friends and your colleagues, those that are joining us here today to support you, and those that are watching online on the live stream, because they're part of your story. And I'm sure you'd all say you couldn't have done what you've done without them. So they're here to celebrate with you today, and I very much look forward to meeting them and talking to you all directly in the morning tea we'll have at the conclusion of this very important ceremony. Congratulations on these very well-deserved awards, and I very much look forward to investing you with your insignia this morning. Thank you.
Your Excellency, to be appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Professor Alan Cheng, for eminent service to medicine as an epidemiologist, to infectious and communicable disease research and education, and to national and international public health policy. Professor Cheng's work has informed community, national and international infection prevention guidelines. He has significantly improved health outcomes for countless individual patients and the broader community. Currently serving as Director of Infectious Diseases at Monash Health and Professor of Infectious Diseases at Monash University, Professor Cheng's expertise has had a profound impact. He continues to make a difference to the health and well-being of the Australian and global community through his leadership, research and advice to governments. Professor Cheng's work during the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond has contributed to saving many lives. He represents the very best of medical research and Australian values. Professor Alan Cheng, appointed a Companion of the Order. To be appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Emeritus Professor Jillian Triggs, for eminent service to humanitarian and human rights law, to international relations, to social justice advocacy, and to tertiary legal education and research. Professor Triggs has made an exemplary and significant contribution as a lawyer, educator, advisor, and leader across her career. Professor Triggs most recently served as Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations and Assistant High Commissioner for Protection at the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. In these roles, and previously as President of the Australian Human Rights Commission, Professor Triggs has committed her working life to fight for social justice and protect the rights of people across the world. Professor Triggs' leadership, expertise, compassion and integrity have been central to shining a light on injustices and inconsistencies. Her work creates a fairer and more equitable system and has made a significant impact for individuals and communities. Emeritus Professor Jillian Triggs, appointed a Companion of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Ms. Nikki Ayres, for service to sport as a gold medalist at the Paris Paralympic Games 2024. At the Paris Paralympic Games, Ms. Nikki Ayres won a gold medal in the PR3 mixed doubles sculls para rowing alongside Mr. Jed Altschwager. The pair also won gold the year prior at the World Rowing Championships in Belgrade, Serbia. Ms. Ayres has always had a love for sport, captaining the ACT Women's Brumbies Sevens team until she sustained a serious injury. After enduring 16 surgeries, she decided to try para rowing, and her achievements reflect her fierce competitive drive, elite athleticism, and deeply admirable determination to follow her dreams, even in the event of setbacks. Ms. Nikki Ayres awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mrs. Valme Dempsey, for service to community health. Mrs. Dempsey has made a significant contribution to the region in a number of roles, including as a volunteer at St John's Ambulance since the 1970s. She has made a difference during major disasters, particularly as the leader of the contact tracing team during the COVID-19 pandemic and the coordinator of the volunteer response to the Black Summer bushfires. With her lived experience of myositis, Mrs. Dempsey has been an effective advocate for the rare disease community as a long-time member and former president of Myositis Association Australia. Recipient of Senior Australian of the Year in 2022, the love and support Mrs. Dempsey shows through her work will leave a lasting mark on the communities she has helped. Mrs. Valme Dempsey awarded the Medal of the Order.
It's cool. Congratulations so much.
To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Lieutenant Commander Scott Clark, for meritorious service to the Royal Australian Navy in the field of human resource management. Lieutenant Commander Clark directly influenced the successful management of sailors and senior office portfolios, supporting personnel through promotions and separations from service with the utmost professionalism. His capacity to resolve unique and often complex and sensitive personnel issues has been a hallmark of his service. Lieutenant Commander Clark's considerable and ongoing support of Navy people has directly impacted the retention rate to the benefit of the Navy, which will have a beneficial impact for years to come. Lieutenant Commander Scott Clark, awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Captain Matthew Hoffman, for outstanding devotion to duty as Director Undersea and Information Warfare Workforce Development. Captain Matthew Hoffman demonstrated outstanding devotion to duty as Navy's Submarine Workforce Planner. His efforts, together with his dedication to excellence across several key appointments, were central to the sustainable growth of Navy's Collins-class submarine workforce. His leadership in support of the nuclear-powered submarine task force, working on the most complex of analytical tasks under compressed timeframes, has also contributed to the workforce foundation for Australia's future nuclear-powered submarine capability. Captain Matthew Hoffman, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Brigadier Nerily MacDonald, for outstanding devotion to duty as Director General Pacific and Timor-Leste. Brigadier MacDonald's outstanding leadership played a pivotal role in shaping, coordinating and leading Australia's defence engagement in the Pacific and Timor-Leste. Her selfless devotion, superior interpersonal skills and astute management of the Defence Cooperation Program have significantly advanced Australia's relationships in the region. Brigadier MacDonald's commitment and achievements, including the management of an integrated workforce, represent the best traditions of the Australian Defence Force. Brigadier Nerily MacDonald, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Flight Lieutenant Matthew Thurling, for outstanding achievement as the Aeronautical Life Support Mustering Capability Advisor in delivering a transformational change program to create an effective tri-service life support capability. Flight Lieutenant Thurling's expertise, dedication and depth of understanding of aviation capability requirements have enabled him to successfully address significant, long-standing aeronautical life support workforce shortages. His efforts and steadfast commitment have ensured the delivery of effective and enduring capability across all three services. Flight Lieutenant Thurling's contributions are in the finest traditions of the Australian Defence Force, and we thank him today for his service. Flight Lieutenant Matthew Thurling, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Sergeant Simon Tapley, for meritorious achievement in the enhancement of adversary tactics analysis within the Royal Australian Air Force. Sergeant Tapley's initiative and technical acumen have transformed the Australian tactics and adversary studies element by addressing a critical workflow gap. His efforts have also exploited new data sets to analyse adversary tactics and considerably improved the team's efficiency, reduced training complexity, and significantly elevated the quality of intelligence outputs. His unwavering dedication to excellence exemplifies the highest standards of service and has considerably enhanced the Royal Australian Air Force's understanding of key threats. Sergeant Simon Tapley, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Mr. Mark Alcock, for outstanding public service in maritime affairs to Australia, neighbouring countries and the international maritime community. Since 2017, Mr. Alcock has been a highly influential member of the International Seabed Authority's Legal and Technical Commission, representing Australia internationally in the regulation of deep seabed mining. His leadership in the preparation of Australia's continental shelf submission influenced the way all nations progress claims under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. He has made a significant contribution to the security and prosperity of Australia's maritime jurisdiction, while also supporting our Pacific and Southeast Asian neighbours. Mr. Mark Alcock, awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms. Jill Ludford, for outstanding public service to New South Wales Health in the Murrumbidgee region. As Chief Executive, Ms. Ludford has positioned the Murrumbidgee Local Health District as a beacon of success in regional healthcare delivery. She has shown resilience navigating challenges, including bushfires, floods, a pandemic, and workforce shortages. Under her leadership, collaborative initiatives resulted in the redesign of hospital functions, optimising efficiency and responsiveness to community needs, which has led to similar models being established in other rural and regional areas throughout New South Wales. Ms. Ludford was also the lead health negotiator for the New South Wales Government, ensuring culturally informed services for Aboriginal communities. Ms. Jill Ludford, awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Mr. Frank Mirando, for outstanding public service in executive support and ministerial services during the COVID-19 pandemic and 2019-20 bushfire season. Mr. Mirando has dedicated over 27 years of combined service to Commonwealth and ACT governments in the field of ministerial, cabinet, legislative assembly and parliamentary services and executive support. During the 2019-20 bushfire season and the COVID-19 pandemic, he was available to ensure support was provided to those addressing frontline and operational matters. Mr. Mirando's calm and strategic approach to leadership helped strengthen the relationship between the ACT government directorates. He led by example and maintained essential and critical business continuity during a public health emergency. Mr. Frank Mirando awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms. Gabrielle Tramby, for outstanding public service in global customs practices for the economic and security benefit of Australia, both domestically and internationally. Ms. Tramby brought together 58 World Customs Organisations members and industry partners to tackle the issue of criminal infiltration in the maritime sector. Her work has led to over 97 tonnes of narcotics being seized. Her contribution has positioned Australia as one of the most highly regarded member nations in the organisation and across its 186 member states, elevating Australia's standing and credibility. The Chief Operating Officer of the world's largest shipping line and President of the World Shipping Council Security Group credited Ms. Tramby for changing the way industry and governments work together to protect communities and enable free trade. Ms. Gabrielle Tramby awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Australian Corrections Medal, Mr. Gary Hamblin, for distinguished service as a member of an Australian Correctional Service. Mr. Hamblin has provided 15 years of distinguished service to ACT Corrective Services and the ACT community. He is known for his respectful and professional conduct towards staff and detainees. Currently Senior Director of the Court Transportation Unit, Mr. Hamblin has played a significant role in improving the safety and security of correctional officers and detainees. Throughout his career, Mr. Hamblin has supported, guided and mentored colleagues and always makes a conscious effort to positively interact with those who come through the courts. Mr. Gary Hamblin awarded the Australian Corrections Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations for this morning. Let's give one last round of applause to all our recipients this morning. shortly invite the recipients to join Her Excellency for a formal photograph at the state entrance. And then in a moment, everyone else is welcome to move to the lakeside lawn for refreshments. Please note that our photographers will be capturing a photograph with each of the recipients and their guests and the Governor-General during the reception. And of course, this is your opportunity to take a selfie, so please have your cameras ready. Can I ask that you please now stand for the departure of Her Excellency and the recipients? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please now feel free to move around the ground floor and out to the lakeside lawn.